Talking change, talking all that's real. With Francis Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend. We talk it out from end to end. When the clock hits 12, you know where to be. Turn it up, Real FM, ride the frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking all that's real. With Francis Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend. We talk it out from end to end. When the clock hits 12, you know where to be. Turn it up, Real FM, ride the frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking all that's real. With Francis Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend. We talk it out from end to end. When the clock hits 12, you know where to be. Turn it up, Real FM, ride the frequency.
Brothers, welcome sisters, welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, we never have a subject matter. There are a number of issues in the world, in the international community, in the region, in Grenada, that we speak about. So issues are trend. And we encourage you to participate, make your contribution. If you hear any background noise, it's because we have a school celebrating some victory. I don't know what victory, but they won something, it appears, and they're celebrating the victory, and they have their DJ and they're having fun. So yes, the number to call is 442-0175. We are on We Noise FM 94.9, Real FM 91.9, and we always encourage you to let local content grow. And what you could do, you could subscribe to the program. You could share your program. Even if you don't agree with us, sometimes your friends don't agree with us too. So share the program. I encounter people who is practically hostile against my program and me. And I ask, have you ever heard my program? They say, no, I don't listen to that. And I say, how could you be so angry against something you never hear? But you have some people who listen to the program and tape the program and then interpret for others. That don't make no sense. It is better to listen to the original statement, because along the way, people could doctor what you say for their political purposes. So yes, the number to call is 442-0175. A number of issues in the world. One of them, I am still very disturbed that CARICOM leaders have not selected a team to negotiate with Donald Trump. If you study Donald Trump, from the day he planning to go in politics, he said, let us make a deal. He is prepared to make a deal. He's a consummate businessman. Let's make a deal. It's not about black and white. Let's make a deal. And the Caribbean leaders, they are little maybe too much ideology has corrupted their brains. And they interfere with international issues that they cannot defend. And it is not beneficial to the country. So most of the Caribbean leaders, they hate the Jews. And I believe they should embrace the Jews. Because the Jews could act as a model to help to motivate and inspire your own people. And the Jews are able to help you much more than the other countries. And the Jews may be more tolerant to your religious belief because they are not spreading theirs. But the Caribbean leaders, all of them, almost all of them, they are more inclined to support Hamas and Islam, communism, and the extremists. And this is why they find themselves in this rabbit hole. And they lack the ability to understand that you must put your country first. So I even suggest that Belize, the Bahamas, and Jamaica could have lead a negotiating team with Donald Trump. It might have been a good time to get Venezuela to accept the ruling of the International Court and settle the border with Guyana once and for all. And settle the border with Trinidad and Tobago and Grenada once and for all. Venezuela has been one of the big bullies in the Caribbean. But a lot of our Caribbean islands support Venezuela because Venezuela seems to propagate the same ideology like them and hate for the United States of America. Both Venezuela and Guyana is the Spanish and the Dutch and the English that invade these countries. So they're not natives. So the land they're fighting for is not theirs. Make a deal. Canada and I think Denmark. Canada and Denmark. They have a deal over a little island. They fight a quarrel over it for 50 years. They used to call it the Whiskey War. Eventually, they split it in two. They draw a line of demarcation between the island and they settle the issue in 2022. Make a deal. And I think we're missing every opportunity. We're taking every opportunity in the Caribbean to miss our opportunity. Even in Grenada here, sometimes we don't follow logic in Grenada. Take, for instance, the Nutmeg Association and the Cocoa Association. I've always accused these two organizations for playing politics. They have played so much politics. They handicap the industry. Could you imagine the prime minister that cut down Belvedere nutmeg? The prime minister that destroyed the Banda nutmeg that was brought into Grenada in 1884. The Nutmeg Association awarded that prime minister for destroying Belvedere nutmeg. They name a pool after him or something. They name it after him. The only thing this man do was to destroy Belvedere nutmeg, and the Nutmeg Association remunerated him for that. Yes, caller, welcome. Caller, you're welcome. We lost that caller. We don't obey logics. Look at individuals fighting to make Bishop a hero. In all politicians in Grenada, Bishop committed the most injustice, the most crime to our people. In fact, after slavery and colonialism, in 4.5 years, Maurice Bishop supervised over the most crimes in Grenada after 4.5 years. And a lot of Grenadians believe he should be honored for that. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, my brother.
Yes. You know, I've been looking at Israel, and I come to one conclusion. You know, when David had to face Goliath, he got 5 smooth stones to face Goliath. He used 1 stone, and he destroyed Goliath. Now, he left 4 behind, and I think that Israel is using the 4 smooth stones that David left behind. Stone number 1, the foundation stone, is a belief and a faith in Almighty God. Stone number 2 is science and technology. Stone number 3 is hard work and discipline. And stone number 4 is humility. When I look at the size of Israel, from day one, they've been going through wars. And when I look at the progress that this little nation named Israel is making, Israel is the perfect example for any nation that want to move from the gutter. When we look at Israel, 60% of the land of Israel is desert. Yet still, Israel is producing so much water that they could be selling water, exporting water to Jordan. Right? Look at the enemies. Look at the enemies. The amount of money that Iran is investing trying to destroy Israel. And look at them today. They cannot even supply water to the people. Yet still we have in Grenada here a number of persons who hate Israel, in particular these people that call themselves whatever movement or whatever they seem to be. They must be crazy. Their ideology don't develop any country. What develop a country is your faith in God, science, technology, hard work and discipline, and humility. And if Grenadians make a mistake and put these people in power, they're going to do worse than what NDC is doing today. Mr. Pierre, imagine that up to this morning, one of the main spokesmen for this movement, who is also a Hamas spokesman, crying because Israel is killing those terrorists. Can you imagine that? Look the amount of Christians that have been murdered in Nigeria. Not one bit of tear, no mention. A couple days ago, about 50 children escaped from Islamist terrorists to go back to their parents. Not one single word. And you know what that is telling me? The same bandits we had ruling Grenada from 1979 to 1983. What we have now is a revival of them same terrorists, and things wouldn't be different because their mindset is destruction. Have a good day, sir.
Caller, I have to agree with you. They were desperate. They were wise. They perhaps established a greater network, but it don't mean good. They don't mean good. They hate Christians. Some of them are saltless Christians. They pretend because they know the environment they're in. But I have had opportunity to have long discussion with a lot of them. They hate the Christians. They hate Americans. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, go right ahead.
When Moses leading children, we went to them. Mr. Pierre.
I didn't hear that.
Pierre,
go ahead.
who responsible? Mr. Pierre, listen now. Who responsible for killing Jesus Christ? Thank you.
All right. You see, I think sometimes the worst things I take a lot of objection when leaders are hiding away from answering questions and they're ducking. I don't treat them lightly. Anytime you find a leader that is hiding away from issues, they know they cannot defend the issue. So they're hiding. They're trying to avoid so-called controversial issues. And I take a lot of objection to that. Perhaps I strongly believe that the Caribbean's leaders should use Israel as a model. They are about 0.1% of the world population. Yet, they win the Nobel Prize for Literature maybe more than 50% of the time. They are about 2% of the population of America. Yet, they are about 30% of the millionaires. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre,
Yes,
sorry to be back again, but the gentleman asked a question, so I would like to answer it.
Yes.
It is the Romans who murdered the Messiah. And he said it way before they executed him, way before they arrested him. He said that, he prophesied that his people would arrest him and give him over to the Gentiles. So it was the Roman soldiers who executed him. So that's the answer.
Yes.
And you could check out the Bible, read the Gospels, and you will see it is clearly written there. Thank you, sir.
You see, sometimes I always try to practicalize religion in today's perspective. You have a people that control about 1% of the land in the Middle East, surrounded by 54 Muslim countries that say they want them dead. The Quran say to kill them and kill Christians. Yes, caller, welcome.
Well, that German had to answer way more than the children of Israel. They don't answer that one. Why you don't answer that one?
In Egypt.
Mr. Pierre.
In Egypt.
Mr. Pierre. Where we calling Israel today? The man who leading me. That's the men who create Hamas to fight against this man in Palestine. Oh, look, forget the man name. Mr. Pierre, them men that develop Hamas. So what did they go underground Hamas? Why you killing innocent people? Why you bombing innocent people?
Caller.
Go underground for them, Mr. Pierre.
Well, caller.
Mr. Pierre, I find you want some colors, right? Are you creating evil? Because I look about Israel. Israel is an evil country. Evil. Netanyahu is an international criminal. And America supporting them. All the bombs, everything.
Caller. Iran want the Israelis dead. Do you agree with them?
Mr. Pierre, listen to me now. Listen to me. Listen, Israel, you think that when you go to conference, go to the bar. Right? From the river to the sea.
You support that? You support that, caller? You support that, caller? Caller, do you support that?
When the man go to me, Mr. Pierre, the man was in a big meeting last night and he walked with the map to show the map. What? Look, America had $500 million and a terrorist. Right now, they're supposed to be in Syria. You are in Syria right now. Come on, Mr. Pierre, man.
The Jews and the Israelis and the Arabs is a lot of history behind it, and sometimes I try to avoid some aspects of it because people need to read a lot about that. You need to study these things and read a lot about it. Sometimes we make isolated statements. I always use the Israelis, and I believe they should be a model for the Caribbean countries. The state of Israel was started in 1947. The state of Pakistan was started in 1947. The Israelis have improved the country by leaps and bounds, irrespective of the fact that they are surrounded by hostile neighbors that want them dead. They have some working peace with some of them, like Egypt and Jordan and Saudi Arabia and etc. But Iran, Hezbollah, Syria, and some other countries, they want the Israelis dead. And Israel is fighting for their survival. Golden Meir said, if the Arabs put down their gun now, there will be peace in the Middle East. But if the Israelis put down their gun, there will be no more Jews. Because these countries teach the children that if you kill Jews and infidels, you're going to go in Abraham's bosom and you're going to get 72 virgins. Serious culture and history. But when I speak about Israel, I'm really speaking that the Caribbean leaders should use Israel as a model. They're a country that fight every day for the survival. Yet, they have advanced in education, in science, in humility, in discipline, in agriculture. Gary brought the Israelis in the 70s. And some Grenadians from the Ministry of Agriculture visit Israel in the 70s. And the Arabs can't feed themselves. Iran have water problem now. And Israel is exporting water. So the Caribbean islands who like to blame the white man for slavery, they should use the Israelis as an inspiration, as a motivator, as a model. And in the same way, I believe Grenadians must question their leaders. If you don't, and you just follow the hyper, the promises, and the glamour, you're going to get tricked again. I've advanced the view now the black man is the black man's worst enemy. And I believe in Grenada, our own Grenadians are our worst enemy. I gave you two examples this morning. The same Prime Minister of Grenada that destroyed the Banda Nutmeg in Belvedere, the Nutmeg Association honor that very leader. I don't know what they said to people to justify honoring the person that destroyed your nutmeg. If it was cocoa, I would not say anything. Nutmeg Society honor the individual that cut down Belvedere nutmeg. Nobody in agriculture agreed with him. If there is anybody in agriculture who is still alive, who argued with him, please tell me. But I was in agriculture. And I know at that time, no one agreed with them. Nutmeg Association honor, award the very individual that cut down Belvedere nutmeg. Look at Maurice Bishop. Maurice Bishop jailed over 3,000 people, castrated people, executed people. That he treated the Rastafarians in the most dehumanizing manner. Up to today, some of them can't talk about it. Too much emotion. And Grenada say Maurice Bishop was a glorious leader. What he did, they say he built an airport. Well, I agree with them. The airport he built, the plan was already made the site was located to convince Grenadians that the airport could go there. Eric Gary came on a small plane and he landed on the roadway now called Morris Bishop Highway. So Eric Gary landed on Morris Bishop Highway to stunt the criticism, because they was criticizing Gary. If you put the airport in Point Saline, you're going to destroy the salt pan and the lighthouse. So Gary went on a little plane and he landed. He said, you see, we land on the airport. We land there. We did not destroy the salt pan and we did not destroy the airport. We can have the airport there. Morris Bishop got that. Yes, he built the airport, but it wasn't his idea. It wasn't our original concept. And the plans for the airport was already there. You know, sometimes I look at this present government and I take a lot of issue with Dick Mitchell. A lot. And I always say I go after policies and the issues I see. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon. Greetings, man.
Yes, caller. Long time I have not heard you.
No, I have to call your program today. I have to call the program today, talking on the behalf of myself, which is my hard working, Mr. Pierre. I mind my call. Yesterday morning, very early, I went up and see after my call. I wouldn't go up early this morning. I leave here about after 11. We are time we call my bull. The person, they take their time. They lose the cow and they go eat it. But I'm telling all the butchers and them.
Let me stop a while. Stop a while.
Mr. Pierre,
stop a
my
while.
cow gone. Because last time, about 3 months ago, they take it out and they tie it in a piece of cedar in Viking land. I end up taking how much hours and looking for my cow. And whosoever take it, they have to bring it back. And Mr. Pierre, don't have me wrong, don't get vexed with me. That same corrupt, and I'll be calling people to see that they'll be coming and hang themselves on that same nutmeg tree where I pay me call yesterday morning. So trust me, believe me, and I'm going to take a bed now, and I go in where I have to go. And listeners and callers, trust me, I don't want you to come in my say, man, they take your call, they take your call. Some of them, Mr. Pierre, just rejoice. When things happen with me, some of them just rejoice. And when I call whatever program and I speak about what I speak about, just rejoice. You know? So, Mr. Pierre, I don't come and see after my call there, and not with my call. I trail. They take it the way it was. I have a big piece of thick singing in my land. Like you could see, they take it and they tie it inside there. I can't tell you if it's only this morning or last night or yesterday evening, the cow move. Please, bring it back. I'm going to take a bed now. I'm letting the world know I'm not living that so. I work hard, Mr. Pierre. When I was in hospital, I was thinking and crying. Nobody to see after my animals for me. It's my cousin who wants to change it up for me. You know? And I come from the hospital before I heal, whatever, get well better, whatever. I still used to go on morning time and whatever time and see after my cow. And this butcher or whoever people come and take me cow and I'm not living that so. Mr. P, I'm going to bed, I'm going where I have to go now. But this person, they would not hurt and kill it. And I want to tell the Lord this morning, yes, some of them, they are still kill animals in their backyard. Which that don't supposed to happen. Every butcher and every coal miner have to have a card. Because we have farmer's card, we have voting card, we have all kind of card. NIS card. So That's why I speak about today. Whoever started it, they have to have a license to kill the animals in front of the yard or in the back. I'm not lying. You have a lot of them that still do that. A lot of them that still do that. I call up on the law, please. I call up on the authority, please. Even the wheat farmers on them again. Some of the farmers is crying still. Some of the losses. You know, I live in that so many. Trust me, I'm going to take a bed now. There are cow is a light brown
Okay,
and
culture.
black.
Culture, okay.
And violet, eh?
What is the description of the cow?
The cow.
A cow or a bull?
I am bull, Mr. Pierre.
All right, so what is the description?
Black on the face, with little light brown, and on the legs, and below the belly, and you know what I mean, all over light brown.
What is the main
black.
color of the bull?
Well, it's brown and black color.
Right,
The
so
color, you know what I mean,
brown.
is brown. Yeah, it's black.
Right.
You know?
And about
Brown
how
and black.
old it is? 2 years?
Well, this year gonna make the cow October, making the cow 2 years. October gonna make it 2 years.
Right,
I think yeah.
So it's just over 2 years bull, and that could value about $2,000?
Yeah, because I have the debt market because when the
Yeah, but
cow,
right now it could value about $2,000.
about 2,000. Yeah, well, let's say that. Yeah, you
Right.
know.
Okay, so
all the plate.
Okay.
I'm going where I'm going now.
Okay, culture.
I'm going where
Okay,
I'm going
culture.
now.
Okay,
it's not
culture.
good enough with some buyers.
Okay,
If
culture.
I
That's
the time of the capacity, buy animals, mine animals, kill all the them and sell them.
well, no culture. It's not a ritualist, no. You want them kill people and sell? You can't do that, culture. And culture, you see how hard it is. You see how hard it is. That is why 2.5 years ago, I took strong objection when people was saying, let them starve. I took strong objection to that. We are a small society. Yes, scholar, welcome. Yes, scholar.
Hello.
Scholar, go. Yes, scholar, go right ahead.
Yeah. Mr. Pierre, I work on the airport, and the Maurice Bishop, when Maurice Bishop did, the airport was finished. Building was finished. There was nothing to the report was finished. So from that time onwards, came coming after he died, and they brought the airport into a standard where a plane could land. It wasn't really complete. It was where a plane could land, drop passengers and pick up passengers. That airport finished when NNP came in power. Dr. Kidd bring it up to an international. He spent millions of dollars down there to bring it up to that international place standard it is. The NDC came and they did nothing. You understand? So when they're talking about Maurice Bishop building, Maurice Bishop started the airport. He didn't build and finish no airport. So all this rubbish they're talking about it. I worked down there for 3 years. And I donate 3 hours every day. I used to work 11 hours getting paid for 8 hours, $25 a day driving truck. The exclusive truck. Mr. Right? They give you 32.
Colin, we get the main gist so to say, but you're breaking up. So
Okay.
thank you. Yes. Yes, well, they gave Maurice Bishop the full blight for the airport. And I'm not taking any issue with that. Sometimes when I want to be sarcastic, I say he drew the plan and all. Gary had the plan to convince Grenadians, because Grenadians was very, very critical of everything Gary did. He landed a plane on what you call Maurice Bishop Highway. They give Bishop that. That's why I always say I wouldn't waste time and encourage my children to study history in school. If they want to do an additional subject for bragging rights, they could take on history. But I say to my children, you must do the science subjects: maths, chemistry, physics, and biology. English language is necessary, Spanish and French, computer science, and music. Any other subject that you want to add for bragging rights, I have no problem. I have no problem with a child doing 20, 25 subjects. We have children with different level of talents. But I think the basic subjects I'll encourage children to do is the science subjects, plus French and Spanish and English. Music. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, pleasant good evening and a good evening to everyone, one listeners and whatnot.
Yes, caller.
But a while ago you made a statement, and I'm kind of I don't know, I am trying to find the answer. Really.
What is the statement, if you can?
The Prime Minister that, what was something to do with nutmeg and Amos.
Well, I could write back that statement for you to hear it.
But anyway, let's not really dwell too much on that in the true sense, because I mean, I have had my problem with George Bizan, even though he wrote a...
I said, Nutmeg Association awarded the Prime Minister that cut down Belvedere nutmeg. And I cannot understand why they felt it necessary to award the man who destroyed Belvedere nutmeg.
All right, let me not dwell on it too much. Anyhow, that has happened, and all these states that was cut up into a residential area, I had condemned that from the day one that came into condemn that, okay? And that's one of the reasons why I see farmers, agriculture, and whatnot, etc., is suffering today, you know? But I want to sympathize a little bit with Culture Man. I don't know the exact, but I want to sympathize a little bit with him, and I can only hope and wish that he actually, recovers, I hope that the cow untied, let loose on its own and stray away and whatnot, etc. And it's somewhere around so that he will take his time and find it and whatnot, etc. And the other, well, there are so many other different things that I would like to talk about, but our Constitution, and I would much prefer to hear us probably trying to express to the entire Grenadian people, but not just particular on the Constitution, but there was the Constitution is not really being ratified in the House of Parliament as yet. It's something myself and Maurice Bishop had found out of. He promised the people within 6 months of the revolution, and he failed. And when I approached him and contacted him on a couple of occasions, I was imprisoned also. As a Rasta man, and I was imprisoned also. I suffered a lot with most of those guys.
You was in Hopeville?
In Hopeville, that's right. I spent 2 years, 3 months, 15 days at the Providence camp, first of all, the old NIS building in town, second, Hopeville, thirdly, and at the Richmond Hill prison, fourthly. Frankly speaking, I have my problems with the man they affectionately called Tillman Thomas, because himself was in prison at the Richmond Hill. I mean, there are a couple others, and I have documents here where these guys got compensated. They were fully compensated. Some of them even did not provide evidence to substantiate the claim that they were making. And, I mean, I don't want to come calling all of them, but those who are alive. I want to call on all the detainees now who are alive and did not get compensated or get compensated partially, because I know there are a lot of them. And there are those who went to this present Prime Minister, and he was, I would say, rude enough to tell them why Tillman didn't pay. I mean, that is a good point. Tillman should have paid us when he was in the Mount Royal place. Tillman should have made it. I mean, Boko, I knew Boko personally, say. I mean,
Boko from Bridgegrove?
I see Natinan get shot down inside a prison, trying to wash his shit pail. I mean, Tillman Thomas, I get angry with him because I even have a receipt where I paid him to make a court appearance and a defense at the St. George's Magistrate Court for me in 2003. And I can't say what has happened. I'm still homeless. You know, I feel like to arm myself and shoot up some people in this country. You all have a good day, people. Take care.
Yes, scholars. You see, sometimes that is why I always speak about tolerance. I listen to Culture Man now with a lot of emotion. I heard the tears. I heard the cry of Shirley Ann Robinson. The sister whose husband, not she husband, she spouse. She had 4 children. She was on the 5th. She cried out. She don't want him to lose a job because he's going to go in Trinidad. They fire him. And some NDC people say, let them starve. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother. A lot of emotions this morning.
You're on a good note, but
And a lot of emotions.
I
You hear the cry of Culture Man and this Rasta man who was in jail. And you was in Trinidad, you run from jail. But I know the emotions that go because your brother was in prison.
yes,
And a lot of you friends in Montreat was in jail.
another thing happened. This is why the people of Montreat send the message to Peter David, who was a captain. He better bypass Montreat in this campaign.
Well, the revolution treated Montreat very, very badly. You know.
Because they say he personally, there are gentlemen in Montreat say they call on he to rescue them from pressure. And he said no. He is a madman with Montreat people. That's an area he should skip in his campaign. Although he is freedom to go anyway, but
Well, that's an area you're going to get. That is an area he's going to get a new Montreat man that is a revolutionary and believe that some people are too dead for the revolution to succeed to work. They always do that. They find good face to put in front.
yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, I think this government, we know that lie is their policy. But I believe they have no respect for the people of Grenada. They have no respect for the electorate. And I think it is time that by now everybody should see. We shouldn't be panicked. This government have no shame. Although they say politics is something shameless, but it don't have to be. It don't have to be. Knowing what they have done to the people of this country, but they feel at any time they could just come and
Some people of the country. Some people of the
and
country.
tell them.
Some people of the country.
Some in other words. So I want Grenadians to open their eyes. Things happening is, they said, but it's not what should happen. It's happening for special people. Grenadians, before I close, I believe Deacon Mitchell and his administration has done enough wrong things. They have doing enough wrong things that the people should take note and realize they are not the answer to this country. They are not the answer. They cannot manage the affairs of this country. This is what is important. It's not old talk. It's not crowd. If we care about our country, if we care for our children and our children's future, we should do the right thing. Look, we have an international pollster. I saw the gentleman 2 days back say that he was threatened by NDC activists by just giving an estimate of how things are in the country. This is a disgrace to Grenada. This is a shame to hear that Grenadians, is threatening the life of people who is doing a good job. And that was supposed to take place in our country. So Grenadians, open your eyes. I rest my case. I will continue next time to say things why we should vote out this government.
Yes,
but
scholar.
I will not be able to mention it now. The program is too short.
Yes, scholar. Thank you.
So, thank you.
And I think the NDC takes strong issue with people who perceive to be against them. So the pollster, in their opinion, perceive to be against them, and that's why they react so strongly. Yes, scholar, welcome.
I am the voice of one crying out in the wilderness.
You have the medium to cry. Welcome.
How are you, senior?
Great.
I felt it for Culterman, to be honest.
Yeah.
I never heard Culterman like that come out so, I mean, common man.
Plenty emotion.
Yes. I mean, Culterman, I really felt you. We have our different political affiliation, but I'm asking, please, everybody in the surrounding area, if anybody know the whereabouts of that animal, please, I beg you, from the bottom, help Culterman. Culterman is a man, he's not idle. That guy is a guy who labor hard, and everybody know that. And if anybody knows the whereabouts of that animal, please, please, assist that man. I mean, you could felt it. I mean, I felt it.
Yeah, a lot of emotion he has.
Yeah.
And they have to understand that
yeah, man.
Rain was falling, not one person.
Exactly. You know, today might be Culterman, tomorrow
today's
might
the
be
next
who.
person.
Yes, you know.
When people was crying out and say, I lose my job and look at etc. Some people very dismissive of that.
Yeah. You know, Culterman never idle. You know the gentleman. Please, Culterman, in sympathy with you. But I believe that, you know, that if we put our hearts and mind together and pray, you will get back your animals.
And you have to be careful that you have to make certain that the bull didn't let loose.
Yeah.
Because if the bull let loose and a female craving, the bull could travel far.
Yeah, and they know in Culterman, I believe that he's a guy who take care of his animal. I think that he go anchor it well.
He go in the line every day.
He will anchor it well, you know. So Culterman, it's always hard. The voice of one crying in the wilderness goes out, and I hope that you get the animal.
Yeah.
Take care, senior. Bye-bye.
Yes, a lot of...
Yeah.
This is why I take such strong objection when Deacon said the only reason LNP getting help because they don't know who the real NDC is. Grenada is a small country. Look at the emotion and the cry from Culterman today. When this sister was crying out, she don't want to lose her man. And if he lose his job, he tell her he going in Trinidad. He can't take it. He lost the job, he went to Trinidad. Yes, scholar, welcome.
I am indeed grateful. I have a great attitude of gratitude. I am thankful to God for being alive, for seeing yet another day. And I have to also tell you, a gentleman in my area, he passed away Saturday abruptly. And he kind of left me a little bit grieved because it was my brethren. He has different political persuasion, but I remember distinctly during the election, we shared things together. And just a couple of days before he passed away, we had a nice little talk. But yet, I am still grateful to be alive. I hope that his family will have solace, peace, and I hope that he's in the arms of God and rest assured. However, I am still very pleased in terms of the government performance under the leadership of Deacon Mitchell. The unemployment rate in Grenada was over 13%. They basically almost carried right down to 7%. I mean, this is astronomical. This is phenomenal. I mean, for a young man who've been underrated, who've all different things been thrown after him, he's doing a wonderful job in transforming Grenada, Carriacou, and Pidimantnik. I think we should continue praying for him. I think we know there's no perfection in the human domain, but as a young Prime Minister, in terms of what he's doing for education, I mean, the free tuition for college where people could get the opportunity so they can go to college. And they're trying right now, you heard of the 30 students they're trying to send to St. George University, so every family could have somebody that graduates from university. I mean, this is what you call long-term vision planning. You understand me? And this is what we're talking about. This is what Grenada needs at this present moment. And I think he's in a position where he's gonna stand firm, his party standing firm. As you heard, Andy Williams said that the party, the NDC party, only got one leader. You heard Delma again. She can express herself even if she don't agree with what they're saying. But yet, even when you disagree, that you have that freedom to express yourself. It's not like the past, where you have this authoritarian person who just wants to do what they want when they want. I say so, the massa and the mini God in Grenada. We don't have a mini God in Grenada, and I, for one, will say I do not see Deacon Mitchell as a God.
Thank you, caller. He's the last caller for the day. Thank you,
have
caller.
yourself a good day, and give thanks.
Thank you, caller. And caller, next time you call back the radio, I want you to start off from right where you are. I want you to tell me 5 new initiatives that Deacon, the NDC government, started in the last 3 years. I want you to tell me what are the new areas they created the job. You could always come on here and talk about your drop unemployment to 6 or 7%. I want you to tell me 5 new initiatives, job creating initiative that this government start in the last 3 years. Where did they create the job? I know the people in security have increased maybe 300-400%. Nothing is wrong with that. That is social work. That is as a social program. But tell me that. You see, we can't just make this statement. I know that you would not deal with the issues that we address, like the Grenada Development Bank, the National Lottery, the corruption, the fact that Deacon is promoting classism, the fact that he believes some Grenadians are classless and commoners and beggy, the fact that he incited violence and encouraged young people to curse. And I listened to Cultureman this morning with all the emotion because he lost his animal. He is not certain whether they steal it. I want to advise Cultureman, don't dabble in the occult. Don't dabble in the occult. You lost your animal and you want people to hang with the same rope with the animal rope. I hope it's just because you're emotional and angry. And I hope you're not following Deacon. Deacon Mitchell is the first prime minister I know in the whole Caribbean that dabble in the occult. I take the strongest objection to that. When our leaders make public statements, they have to realize that people listen to them and people follow them. Deacon went on the stage, switch off the light, and attempted to evoke the dead man's spirit. Deacon went on the stage and he said, the only reason NNP getting assistance is because he don't know who the real NDC is. We have been objecting to this behavior, and some militant members of NDC call on radio. They say, let them NNP starve. Let it pound stone in the river. I took strong objection with that. And I thought some members of the NDC, particularly in rural areas, was changing. So Deacon go back and reinforce the policy. The only reason NNP getting help. A woman came to me because her child in school said, Mommy, I don't want to go back to that school. Because he felt his mother was a loudmouth NNP. And the child felt the victimization in school. We pointed that on the radio. I heard the cry of Shirley and Roberts. And this is why I say to Deacon, this country is too small for us to advocate and promote classism and hate. I realize a lot of Grenadians believe they're better than others. I call on the radio and ask culture man, what class you in? And you come from the same socioeconomic strata and the same geographical location. And we're from the same educational background. So how come you in a bigger class than me? What make you, even your skin tone and your hair quality and mine is the same? How come you rich in a bigger class? Because these things will fracture our society. We are a small society. We are a small society. And we must not do anything to fracture the society. Deacon might be able to go and live in Dubai. Because by the end of the term, I believe he'll reach a billionaire. And a lot of the ministers who was thousandaire may turn millionaire. Tevin Andrew say fixed for life. Win, lose, or draw. He's talking about the next election. He fixed for life. And the sister from Gov, she says she give out over $300,000 in her personal funds. In 3 years, she had over $600,000 in the bank. We hear stories of corruption in this country as never before. But some people don't care about corruption because they believe they're in a superior class. When people thief in bull cow, they don't care what class you're in. When people ready to thief your bull cow, they don't care what class you're in. When people ready to break up your door, they don't care what class you're in. They don't care. And that is why, as a small country, we have to be very careful with the policies of government. If you have a government that propagating a policy of fracture and hate, it's going to affect all of us. It's going to affect everybody. Because your rich child is going to line with my poor child. And your rich son is going to find my poor daughter very attractive. And my poor daughter go take advantage on your rich son because he might be educated and rich, but he's not street smart. So, culture man, we are in sympathy with you, and we hope it's Lego you call Lego. Maybe he take the scent of a female. It's a bull cow. So you have to find out if you have females around. If they're craving, the bull might stretch the line. Share our program, like our program, and subscribe to Real FM. We're back with you tomorrow as soon as the clock struck 12.
When the clock hits 12, you know where to be. Turn it up, Real FM, ride the frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking